I'm Andrew Campbell-Eady from the Irish Centre for Diversity. I'm very pleased to be joined by Siobhan McKenna from Publicjobs.ie. She'll be sharing some insights around EDI and the Public Sector Organisation of the Year Award. Without further ado, on to the first question. So my first question is, what does leading the charge entail when it comes to moving the needle on D&I in the public sector?
Hi, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, well, this award was a natural fit for Publicjobs.ie. We are the centralised recruiter for the civil and public sector in Ireland, and that includes 18 government departments, the HSE, Garda Síochána, 31 local governments, and we support ministers with appointments to state boards. So we have a very good overview of the public and civil service, and we know how important it is that our civil and public sector reflect the society that we ultimately are designing policies, programs and services for. And so we launched our ED&I strategy in 2001. It was our first ever one, and we focused on 3 key areas, one of which was getting better data and knowledge on the public sector workforce, who is applying to jobs in the civil and public sector, and more importantly, who isn't. The second was around ensuring that our processes were inclusive and equitable so that anybody who wanted to apply for a job had an equitable opportunity to access opportunities through public jobs and on into the civil and public sector. That third area, as I mentioned, because we have that centralized role, is around leading by example and influencing our partners to create more inclusive and diverse workplaces. And we want to do that leading by example, really. So those are the 3 key areas that we're focused on.
What is the impact of the policies and initiatives that Publicjobs.ie are delivering to support more inclusive recruitment in the public sector?
Well, at Publicjobs.ie, we appreciate that ED&I progress needs to be supported by a culture that values and includes everyone. So we need much better data, quality monitoring data to help us understand, as I was saying, who currently works in the civil and public sector, what groups are underrepresented in terms of the application, assessment and job assignments. And so we have actually worked very closely with the ERSI over the last 12 months to have a look at the data we do hold and to try and help us develop what we're referring to as an equality monitoring dashboard, so that we have a baseline from which to measure progress as well. And in time, we will have a good overview of who is actually applying and who is being assigned to work in the civil and public sector. They completed that work quite recently, so now we do know that our data is robust, and we now have a good baseline from which to measure progress. Another area of focus is ensuring what we refer to as more inclusive routes into the service for people from a variety of backgrounds. For example, we've worked closely with disability organisations like AHEAD on their Willing, Able and Mentoring programme, which gives graduates with disabilities a chance at an internship in the civil service. And this year, for the first time in 18 years of that programme, there's now a pathway to a permanent job at the end of that work placement. So we're very excited about that. I think we have about 16 people moving into permanent roles this month. Another programme is the Oireachtas Work Learning Programme, and that is a supported work model for people with intellectual disabilities. It's the first of its kind in any national parliament, so we are really pleased to be partners in it. And in that programme, we work very closely with Care and Walk, and they support the candidates when they start their job, and over time that support is reduced as the candidates learn better skills and confidence. And we're in the 3rd year of that, and that is a 2.5-day week role as well, which is a first in terms of flexible roles for the civil service. So we're very excited to see how that will progress. And finally, we have an internship that we've just launched as well, which is going to support Irish, traveller and Roma communities into the service. They understand what careers are available into the civil and public sector. The final piece of work that we've worked really hard on in the last year or 2 is what we refer to as our schools resource kit. And that is about going out and cultivating our pipeline, the next generation of civil and public sector workers. And so we have developed a resource for career guidance staff and for transition years coordinators, which is aimed at post-primary students, obviously, to open up careers in the civil and public sector, so that when they're finished their education, they will be fully aware of what careers in this sector look like, the various entry routes that are there and the supports that are available. And this initiative is in its 2nd year. And we have just over a third of secondary schools have signed up for this resource, and we're hoping more will do so in the future. And so we can get that message out that the civil and public sector is where you, if you want to do meaningful work in an inclusive environment with great career paths across all sorts of disciplines, come and work for us. So they're the key pieces of work that we've been working on lately.